little off on things, and so sometimes a lot of different voices, different things come out of my head because that's the way I'm wired. And again, I don't know what she sees in me, but she just wonders where some of this shit comes from. And it just just the little baskets of kittens that run around here. They get better the older you get. So I can't wait for.
We all have our crazy sides.
Yes, you have to learn to embrace the crazy. Well, hey guys, what's going on here? River Sullivan coming at you right here, right now. Pre-recorded yet again for your live listening pleasure for another episode of Season 5 of This Evening Tonight. Dave couldn't make it here. He had a family emergency, but I have two guests on the show here, one of my first reach-out interviews. Right now with me, Lostrano and Ozzy Man.
What's going on?
I can't pronounce the first...
Microgutteral Fluctuation.
Microgutteral Fluctuation. I read the title of your band name wrong the first time I read it, and I was like, what is that? I thought it was like fracture, or was it? It was micro-fractured flatulation or something. I was like, these are like angry farts. I don't know. It's metal as shit, so.
Hey, I mean, our band logo is just, sometimes they're just unreadable. We try to make it that way. Tyler was the one to make the logo.
Actually drew it out by hand.
So tell me a little bit about the logo here, because I'm just looking, if someone from like me who knows nothing right now is looking at it, kind of has like the helmed look or like a silhouetted face, upside down cross, some definitely satanic things to it. Because I'm assuming from what I listened to from the album that you guys gave me is black and death metal vein you're in, or?
Yeah, I mean, so for the metal genres that we do, it's like we do a mix of everything. We try not to like stick to one metal genre. I know some bands do that, but I don't know, like our influences are really far and wide, and having that for the logo, it really defines like how well, we drew the logo when we were first doing the album because we wanted our music to just be brutal and heavy as hell.
Yeah.
So I think the logo itself and the face that we see on our shirts, that
so it is a face though, right? Okay.
That's actually his face.
Oh, very nice.
Very heavily, and that's how it turned out.
I see the bridge of the nose. I can see it now. All right, excellent.
It's kind of become like our mascot, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Wow, did that just like kick on really hard for everybody else?
I heard like an increase in volume.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. You keep doing what you're doing over there, recording thing. 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Check.
Yeah, you definitely got to be closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
Pull the arm down if you got to. Man, that sounds amazing. I don't know what witchcraft just happened here, but I'll take it.
High definition audio.
I know. Oh, my God, man, you guys are a good luck charm. I've never heard it sound this good. I don't even want to touch it right now.
THX intensifies.
God, it's like for my boomer ass is something like the old RCA or the Maxell, the old. I don't know if you ever seen the commercial. I mean, it was from when like the 80s. They had the guy sitting down in this big easy chair, and he's like rich, and his butler comes and he's like, "Oh, your cassette, my lord," and he puts it into the boom box. And so, of course, in the 80s and 90s, the boom box is like, I mean, 10 feet tall and 8 feet wide before it was actually amps, and he turns it on. It's that guy sitting sideways with the shades, and the sound's just blowing everything away, and his tie's whipping in the background.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
It's become iconic, because of that commercial.
But that was audio back in the 80s. You had options here and there. Not always the best, but they were nostalgic, to say the least. I mean, they're still around today, even with that nostalgia, like cassettes, vinyls, and CDs in their early heyday.
A lot of them hipsters
have
been bringing that shit back. And you know what? That's one of the things I'm actually kind of grateful for. Not the vinyl. I'm sorry. Like, I get the warm tones of a vinyl. A lot of people want to agree with it. I get the feeling, but I grew up a child of the 80s. Like, I had VHS, man, and and
I still have all my old
cassette tapes.
I still have all my old VHS tapes.
We had my grandparents had a Betamax, which was the predecessor, or it was like VHS and Beta came out at the same time, but like the Beta was just massive.
Yeah, I still see them on the Betamax tapes on sale at flea markets sometimes. I've always been curious to like try one of those.
I mean, my dad at home, he still listens to a lot of vinyls. Like, he'll listen to them like every day. Like,
I mean, like the old vinyls. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Also, any of the like the weird awkward silences that we are definitely going to experience today. all that gets taken out in post. You guys are gonna hear yourselves today and go, "That's gonna suck," and then we throw some Jesus Christ Christmas magic in there. Because also for editing, Sony SoundForge is your friend, because I know you guys are in the sound business. Look into the audio cleaning lab. I own that. It is amazing.
Does that have good echo removal?
Yeah, like, I mean, you're looking at the building we're recording in right now.
Yeah.
I had aircraft flying over. There were bird nests everywhere, all the birds chirping. The guy driving his 747 over there. And other than when we had a torrential downpour of rain onto this metal roof, scrubbed it all out. You just, you run your dials exactly where you want it on the screen, and then you can save your settings. I have one standard setting now that covers everything.
Nice.
Like for vocals, it just like bloop, it takes all the background out.
It's nice to have that default program set, especially so talking about the album, so we record basically all of ours on Reaper. We were starting off with GarageBand, but
a lot of guys I knew started with GarageBand.
Yeah.
2009 iMac that I was running it on.
GarageBand is free, right?
It comes with...
They have like a free version you can upgrade too, right?
They have Logic Pro.
Okay.
And then that's like basically an upgraded version of GarageBand. It's not... It has a lot of the same features.
Okay. So before we get into the meat and potatoes here of talking the tech and everything about your albums and everything, properly introduce yourselves here. Tell us what it is. Tell me a little something about, tell the audience about yourselves, because you're a very local band.
Yeah.
And so with the reach that I'm hoping that my show can offer for you guys, I'd love to see you guys get out there and spread the word.
So I'm Listrano. I'm currently a senior at WVU. Going for chemical engineering. I've been living in Morgantown since I started school here back in 2017. I'm originally from Collinsville, PA. That's where I went to high school at. I love math. I love technology, and I love exploring new things. Just like expand my knowledge. Just try to see the world better around me. Like I question everything. I try to put the most logical and efficient solution to most things. It doesn't always work out, but to be fair, like it makes life easier sometimes.
Logic is heavily dictated in my life.
Yeah, that can't say the same about my brother though, because all he does is sit on his ass playing video games. I try to be an outgoing person to like make sure everyone's happy. Like I don't like seeing people sad. I try to see the nice in people most of the times. Although me being myself, like I want to like put forth an effort to make the world a better place, and part of that is like me keep pointing out like key details of faults that might happen, and especially like at like work or something, like is always like improving the workplace efficiency and making sure everyone's productive and happy. That's kind of like my personality. Do you want me to talk about?
So my question is for you: where does Lostrano come into play? Because you're telling me about you, and I like it, and I agree with it. Like you seem like a well-grounded person. Your life is heavily dictated by logic, and that serves people well. I too do the logic-based reality for a lot of my life, because I used to be a very angry person. I was a huge metalhead back in the day with a giant anger issue.
Yeah. Now
here I am wearing pleated shirts and Dockers. Like the metal lives on the inside of this one now. All of that, and then I listen to your music. I don't hear, I want to be nice. I want to know where does Lostrano come from? What is the history of that?
Well, do you want the name or?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so
where did you come up with the name, or what does it mean to you? Or
I wanted to give myself a name just in case a bad negative connotation came from it. So I decided to give me that name because this one time I was watching a Lost Media video on YouTube, and I saw this one guy Wang. He was talking about this one anime from like 1982. I think it was called Urusei Yatsura, and there was these lyrics in the song. Like the song went, "Sayane mare strano kestoka," and I was like, I hear Lostrano.
You heard Lostrano, yeah.
And I was like, that'd be a cool nickname for me. And I looked up, in Italian, it means the crazy or the strange.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, because for me on the side, I did audiobooks for Amazon here. Did a couple of them under my belt just to kind of get my feet wet, see where that would go. And had to use the real world name, and they attached that to Amazon. And then they put it on the same artist who had my same name. And I go there and it's a bunch of garbage.
I mean,
I was like, I can't do that. And also to protect your identity as well. Like,
yeah.
I'm glad that River Sullivan lives within me as a show. Because going out there and everything, as much as this show's grown over the past almost 2 years it's been in operation, it's good to have that anonymity out there.
Yeah. If you look hard enough, though, you will find my real name, though.
Oh, that's the case with anyone.
It's not like I'm Buckethead or anything.
No, I mean, God, I used to be known as the Mad Mustache years ago when I was trying to run my own version of like Markiplier video games, but didn't pan out, and then YouTube changed.
Was that the bite of A7?
So, Ozzy Man, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I joined Microgutteral Fluctuation. It would have had to been, what, 2019 or 2020?
2020.
2020. Mm-hmm. I've always liked trying new things, whether it be music, whether it be with videos, just trying new concepts. And it always interests me in trying stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't get to check out too much of, I know you have like I said, a successful YouTube channel there, man. And again, congratulations, you broke 25K.
Yeah.
And that just recently happened, didn't it?
Just a few days ago, yeah. It hasn't even been a week yet.
Hell yeah. So, and I saw that you had like the band's music on there, but then you also had some other stuff. What's some of the other stuff you do with your channel?
So I mostly make videos that pertain to popular internet memes right now.
Okay.
I try to...
You strike where the iron's hot. That's business smart, man.
I mean... With one of our videos, we took a part of this meme and made it kind of our own in our own style. It was a Big Chungus meme. I don't know if you've...
I know Big Chungus.
Okay, good.
Big Chungus is actually that episode that you guys were listening to. Big Chungus is in that one.
Nice.
He's a child, and I hope he never listens to the show, because as large as he is, for as young as he is, he could probably rip this building apart right now if he finds me.
My brother and I, we were just sitting bored at home one day. We were like, hey, how about we wanted to strike while the iron was hot. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at memes. I said, I asked my brother, hey, what's memes that are popular right now? He said, oh, blah, 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 Big Chungus, blah, blah, blah. And Big Chungus kind of stood out to me. So we made a video on that.
So you have a Big Chungus video?
Yeah, we actually have, we have 3 ones that became popular. One of them has over like 1 million views now. I don't know why.
You weren't the one that made like the fake like PS4 Big Chungus, were you?
Yeah.
That you tried to return?
Oh no, that wasn't me.
Because there's a guy that made like the PS4 and like 360 version, like printed it out on the disc.
I think he was copying me though.
Oh yeah?
Because we were one of the first ones.
So you're the OG of that.
We were the first one to make an actual like physical copy of it.
Hell yes, that's awesome. Right here in the Mountain State, everyone. Thank God. That's a win, man. Because I love internet memalities and a lot of the funnier things on YouTube that the old lady looks at me, laugh at, and I think sometimes questions why she's with me. But
people don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand it, but
it's the way our generations communicate nowadays.
It's the fact that you can't understand it that makes it funny.
Well, they say like the cavemen, with their cave drawings, like this is what we're going to leave behind between my generation and yours. Because you guys, with your age, you're Gen Z.
Yeah.
So I'm technically a millennial, also now becoming the boomer because there's now white in his hair. But yeah, that's the way like our generations communicate is memes and obscure TikToks, which I enjoy them.
They'll look at them in 1,000 years from now and they'll get like artifacts from what we had and they'll be like, what is this?
Nani?
They'll think we were like absolutely crazy or something.
E.
Yeah, E. What could E mean? We have to decode this right now.
Yeah, on my beans.
Oh, right there. There's that beautiful age gap because I had no goddamn clue what that one was. I can feel myself rot. I'm so old over here.
You always have Facebook and the Minion memes, I guess.
Oh no, no sir, no, because my generation, unfortunately, like the Minion is the boomer meme, like that. Like the boomers love the Minions.
Yeah.
My generation, unfortunately, has attached themselves to baby GD Yoda. I hate it. I hate that thing. I love it in the show, and then it just took off way more than anything should have.
Yeah.
Fan bases ruin everything.
Yeah,
Baby Yoda's been perverted.
I've seen wild stuff like that on the internet. The internet can be a happy place, can be a funny place, but especially with Reddit, it can be a cruel place sometimes.
Dark place.
I mean, I remember.
But what a better place to seek inspiration for metal.
Yeah.
Is to be in the darkest armpit of the universe, and that can sometimes be Reddit, or just depending on wherever part of the comment section you're perusing.
Yeah, it was actually part of the darkest place of the internet, Craigslist, that I actually met Tyler. See, was
this like misconnections Craigslist, or just like personal ads?
See, Tyler, you put up an ad for like what, SpongeBob Death Metal?
Yeah, it was for my YouTube channel. I tried to make a SpongeBob death metal video just for fun. Don't
Yeah.
the SpongeBob theme
I was
song.
looking up the ads for like the local Morgantown area, and I decided to go on a tangent and look up the ones for Pittsburgh, and I saw that, and I was like, hey, that's pretty fun. So I contacted him, and we made that video, and that's where it starts a lifelong journey of happy farts.
I was at school before I graduated whenever we did that, and it was I wasn't paying attention. Of course, I was on my computer like always, and I saw that you had responded, and you'd helped me out. You made like what I'd asked you to make in like 20 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Like you were, I could tell you were eger to do that. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Because I never met anyone with your such enthusiasm. The dude I had as a friend at the time, I mean, he was cool, but I don't know, he was kind of really egotistic and self-centered. So I'm really glad that we did get together and have that journey of making that fun music. And
that's the beauty of it. That's the one thing that I've learned. Like when I started this show, I didn't know that this is what it was going to be. I just originally just started about like gaming news and whatever the hell. Like we were going to maybe do some murder mysteries, and we did. And we talked about aliens and all sorts of other shit. And we just try to encompass everything. But the one thing that this show is now striving to do is to find people like yourselves, guys, that got a passion. And you want to share it with the world. And what a better thing, though, too, than to hear is that you found Ozzy over here through goddamn Craigslist about a SpongeBob music video. And it seems like you guys are pretty good friends. And not only that, but you're being a success together. You're pursuing a passion that you both enjoy. Like, too many people, and that's the thing I've hated that this show has brought out of me, is getting older, is being, I'm a homeowner. I have to have a mortgage payment and pay insurance on everything, and got to have a job to pay for it, and it's just a soul-sucking existence for the most part.
I can definitely relate with the soul-sucking part, especially with like my degree at WVU, because like
My child, it only gets worse.
yeah, well, I only have one more year left, and
Things
then
are gonna start to hurt, and you're not gonna know why.
yeah,
When I turned 25, I learned I could sleep wrong. Didn't know that. I woke up on my 25th birthday. I was like, oh, man. And it just dawned on me. I automatically knew that I slept wrong. I had to call my dad, apologize to him. I thought he was lying. It's great. It's a fun journey.
yeah. Well, sometimes I want to sleep on my mattress. Like I had this old mattress until like a few weeks ago. It like hurt my back because it was really stiff, and I just recently got myself a memory foam hybrid mattress, and it helps my back so much because it gives me so much like
memory foam.
shoulder
Yeah, it
support.
remembers you. I love it.
Yeah.
We have a memory foam on there. It's great because you can Superman on the bed while the other one's asleep and nobody knows. It's fantastic.
So to answer your question earlier, so the part of music comes from like the passion for it is like releasing my anger, I guess.
I was going to ask, why metal? Like, because, music is a release, so. Okay.
See, for me, I like music which is more of an edge because it gives me a feeling of like what aggression could be like when put out towards music. Because like I hear, don't get me wrong, I do listen to soft music, and there's a whole bunch of great soft music out there, and I can see why people write it because they're happy and they want to put social causes out there for writing the music and to have fun in general. But me, I mean, I find fun from having that edge with music, with having that little bit of brutality and that anger and
It's
power.
raw.
Yeah, raw.
It's raw feeling.
See, that's what exactly we showed our
Not
first
only
album.
brutal, but guttural.
Yeah, Microgutteral.
Because, you got to learn that gutturals, to get that out.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of inspiration, though, from music, man. Like, the metal has... there's so many different veins of it. There's the black metal, methyl mesa.
See,
Metalphetamines. Yeah. Album title, if you want to use that, you can use. Yeah.
maybe. So like, growing up, like my music choices, they were mostly hard rock. I mean, most of the time, like they were mostly just hard rock and metal. Like I remember the first time I actually listened to actual metal was Metallica's Master of Puppets. I remember playing that on the TV, and that was the heaviest shit ever. Like I remember playing that album on YouTube for like days and days upon end. And
that was like your moment, man. Your realization of like, what is this? What is this feeling?
But like, even though all this metal I listen to, like Green Day will always still be my most favorite band, and I know that's not necessarily metal, but to me, I like their aggression.
They were in the grunge period of like the 90s.
Yeah, and like I like their attitude that they bring with their music, and I figured, hey, maybe I could try to see if I can put some of that attitude into my music making, because they're probably my biggest inspiration for like my drive for music. But like actual music-wise stuff for what I'm doing for Microgutteral Fluctuation, there's probably little to no influence from Green Day, because I feel like for me, copying Green Day would be like blasphemy, because they're so perfect of a band.
Yeah, but I mean, you had like bands that were spawned out of like the generation of Green Day. Like you had like Sum 41, Sugar Ray. Like it wasn't cookie cutter, but they all were in that same vein. It was like grunge, almost to like borderline ska. The only thing they were missing was like a trumpet or a trombone in the background. Then you had Real Big Fish out of that. True ska, but.
See, what I want to do with like Microgutteral Fluctuation is to try and make music as original as possible. Like going out on making just something ridiculous and then making it sound good. That was like our main goal.
So talking about that right there, you guys' sound tone. So you gave me the first album there that you sent me. I listened to here a little bit, and then I was reading into the history where was it you that edited and like did all that?
Yeah. See, at the time, like I didn't know much about mixing, but I knew enough to where it sounded good in my ears. Like not professionally, but I knew it.
I could tell the difference, because when I listened to it, I was like, man, that sounds off, and I was like, don't criticize because you don't know. And then you sent me this information. I said that makes sense. Yeah. Something entirely done in house. Like that's something to be proud of. Yeah, it's not like big time. Like you're not gonna hear it on the MTV or whatever the youth is listening to nowadays. Yeah. But that was something that you pursued from start to finish, and like took your time with every individual track, I'm sure, to like make it the best you could.
Yeah, it was more so seeing what we were capable of and trying to.
Yeah. And we figured after we finished the first album that we can make a second album with much better audio production, and we definitely delivered. Like the audio production on the second album is so much better in my opinion, like with better volume adjustment and better mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Based on like audio tracks that like I've listened to. Like I guess when it comes to like mixing, like there's you use like reference tracks, and there have been like a few reference tracks I use, especially like Lamb of God and Disturbed. Like those are some of my biggest influences.
I did detect some Lamb of God like kind of essence in that. Yeah. So talking about making this music you guys own, there was one thing that you wrote down in the notes that you sent me was synth notes. And I heavily enjoyed that because listening to it, and you guys, I'm guessing you game a little bit.
Yeah,
I detected like it was like the presence. It took me back. It made me nostalgic of like the 8-bit, 16, and even 32-bit eras. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of got that OG retro gamer feel to it, but then you brought the Here Comes the Thunder of the metal, and I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. Like I thoroughly enjoyed them.
See, in my experience with like using synths, it's really, really easy. Well, especially with the synths I use, it's really easy to like get a video game sound and like get those modern level audio production sounds that you'd see in like other songs like from the 80s or 90s. Even
They're
today.
Clean. It's like an old MIDI.
It's really produced. Like the sounds, like it's not just square and triangle waves. So I didn't really know much about it for the first album. For the second album, there's only like one synth-driven song, but like I try to like make it more sound less like a video game, but there's still video game essence to it. And whenever someone brings up those songs, especially like Oga Lego and CIA torture music,
torture music. I'm not familiar with this one.
CIA torture. Okay, so
you're talking like actual CIA torture music?
No. I swear it's not actual torture music. We just see that song.
I thought you were talking about like the psyop stuff that may or may not have ever happened to Gitmo.
I don't know. So see, I made this really weird song with a synth this one time as like a 7/4 time signature. If you're getting technical, but like I basically just try to make it just unnerving. I guess that's the feeling I went for it, because it starts off like like that sort of noise at the beginning.
You're going for that cerebral feel, that one. Yeah. There's something's in the closet,
and then
driving that natural anxiety up.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
And then there's like near the middle, so it's going to high pitched tones where it's like, imagine if you're playing this to like someone who's getting interrogated by the CIA or something.
So that was the mood you were in, like when you were doing this, like you were like,
sorta. See, the song, I showed the song to someone before I was done with it, and my brother, and he was all like, what is this, CIA torture music? And then they stuck ever since. So, yeah, it's crazy music like that inspires us. I mean, especially, talking about the first album, what was it, Bombs Away. we had this crazy idea to make a song with a Keurig in the background. So Ozzy, he basically just recorded his Keurig machine and he put some crazy electronic blast beats behind
Talking
it.
about the noise when it's done, or
Just like the whole duration of the
that's
production
awesome.
of coffee.
I've never heard anybody doing anything like that. That's legit right there. That's originality.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
See, the first album was more on the experimental side, especially with the song, well, it's the craziest song name ever, Cybernetic Genitalia Fuck Farm to Oscillating Drone Torture. So basically...
just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. So basically, one day I took the song Pui Pui Koyoi Soy, which is basically just noisecore, and Tyler called it Pig Squeal for Please Kill Yourself. And I slowed it down to like 8 times the speed, and then I added additional vocal layers on it, and then I was all like, you know what? I'm going to call this a new genre. It's going to be dronecore, because it sounds like droning metal, but not so much as like Sun O O O, or what do you call that band? And, you know, like, let's see. I mean, that first album, we tried to also include our share of like good songs that like sound good. Especially our best song that we made was Hate Me or Take Me. Like, that was, I didn't really intend to put too much effort into that song, but then as soon as I got the wheel rolling with that song, I realized how amazing that song sounded, because it's such a simple riff that I use for the song, but it sounds super epic, and that was the only song that Ozzy did vocals on, so it sounded pretty cool with his vocals on, and with his vocal prowess, I wanted him more on the second album. I mean, he had some complications. I think you had like complications for the first album, so I ended
Is it like a Ozzy? Is it like a, I don't want to say like confidence issue, but like, is it just not wanting to put your voice out there, or?
I mean, it was more of, I don't know how to explain it. How would you explain it? It was like a
nervous.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was a confidence issue.
I have the same issue because I usually want to get some adult beverages in me. I like to sing, and the future Mrs. Sullivan and a lot of my friends are like, look, if you actually took this shit seriously, you'd be really good. And I can't.
Like I was worried that I wasn't gonna sound very good.
Mm-hmm. Everybody hates the sound of their own voice.
I was worried what people were gonna think of me, and then I realized, why should I worry about what people think of me? Why should I worry about that? I'm just gonna, be myself. I have my own quirks with my vocals. I have my own way I do my vocals. So I figured I might as well put them out there how they're intended to be, how I intend them to be.
Yeah.
I wanted him to do more vocals for the next album, and he definitely delivered. Like, he has really great vocal prowess. I think, especially with the song Methyl Mesa, he drives a really powerful like vocal line with like, especially the second chorus, where it's like, that song is like supposed to put you in like apocalyptic setting. That was like the basis for it, and like I thought it was pretty great.
And that's the beauty too, like I said, of you guys being friends like this and discovering each other for this project that is the music that you're pursuing. Is it's a friendship is just like any other relationship. To make one that lasts, it takes that work, but it also takes each one of you driving the other to make each other better, to like help further your passion and progress and everything that it is you do. Like you wanted Ozzy to get in on those vocals, and like, so you got a dude believing in you, man. Like, and you already know, you've already said, yeah, fuck it. It was just
kind of like a fitness coach pushing you to do something that you don't want to do. But I wanted to do it. I just was afraid of how people would think I sound.
And so as a result, I only sing on like 2 songs on the album, but they're still pretty good. So we've had like other, for the second album, we were thinking about getting some more people on to see how we could expand our horizons in terms of different music capabilities, and we had trouble at first trying to do it. We had this one guy, his name was Nate, and he still has his bass line on FTMI, but then he tried doing the bass line for FTMI. I meant A Darker Demon, and then he quit because he had to do grad school, and that's understandable because everyone's busy. I mean, me and Tyler, we take time out of our lives to make this record, so it's understandable.
Yeah. I definitely can know where you guys are coming from on that. I mean, life finds a way to get in your way of your passions a lot of the time. In between working a full-time job and having to maintain the property here and digging up every goddamn ounce of pipe out there in that stupid yard so I can flush toilet paper.
Septic tank.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, everything's fixed, but I'm waiting to push all the dirt, and we had to wait for the dirt to dry out. But yeah, you can't flush toilet paper in a house for 6 months. You start to get a little bit irritable.
You throw it in the trash.
You had to wad it up, wad your TP up, put it in a bag, tie the bag up, and then throw it in a trash can so my dog wouldn't eat it, because apparently that's delicious to him.
That reminds me of that one Family Guy episode where Brian and Stewie get locked in that vault. Have you seen that, Tyler?
Oh, yeah.
That was like the craziest episode of Family Guy ever.
They got locked in the vault?
Yeah, and then Brian eats Stewie's poop because he made a poopy in his diaper. So, and then he pukes and then he eats up the vomit.
Like
afterwards.
He couldn't stop himself. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is just trying to understand how long. So how long have you guys been doing music together?
Pretty much since we first met.
How long ago was that now?
That was like 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, and you guys are still, you're finding that sound. You're putting out everything creativity wise. Like, that's awesome to find a band like that. You guys, that you have the talent, you have the ability to make something here.
Yeah.
And you're in your infancy stage, which, and that's 2 years is not a long time in terms of like anything like this. I mean, I've been doing this for getting close to 2 years, and it's just the way I do for every recording I ever make, and I don't know how you guys do it. I'm pretty sure it's you probably do, because of the amount of trouble you go through to create something like this. Is every time I do a recording, anytime I lay down a track, every time that I'm done editing with it, I don't stop until I'm convinced it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, definitely.
So like every episode that I make, or every video, or every client I've ever got, I'm like, that's the best shit I've ever done. Can't get any better than this. And then I'll listen to it and go, I could have done this, could have made this better, could have tweaked it this way, but then I'll do it next time, and just, it keeps moving.
Well, sometimes, like, in the case of, like, some certain songs, like, sometimes we'll just do things at random and then think, hey, that sounds unique and different. Maybe we should just leave that on and see how it goes. And most of the time, it actually ends up pretty good. Like, we just, like, tend to surprise ourselves sometimes when just pulling things out of our ass. I guess that's one
a lot of people will have a natural affinity for things when you're doing any kind of creative project that you never knew you had.
Yeah.
My thing that I never knew I had for this show was I lay down a lot of music. I probably put 10 to 15 tracks in every episode, just because it's my thing that kind of makes it different.
Yeah.
I don't listen to any other podcasts out there, so it keeps this show pure. I have no inspiration from anybody to like unconsciously or subconsciously draw on. So my thing was like, I'm going to put music to this. Anytime we tell a story, like any story you guys tell me today and anything, if I feel it could be lend a little bit more gravitas with some music to it, I'm going to throw that shit in there to help solidify that point, to help, dot the I and draw the line and help people understand it. And I seem to get lucky where I'll throw it on the editor and be like, oh, it's perfect. The bridge lines up to everything. Like, oh, just, chef's kiss.
Yeah, it gives a good atmosphere to it when I listen to it, the metal podcast. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, thank God for YouTube's creator library. That's pretty much the only place I source music and say attribution not required, because I don't want to copy paste.
I used to do that all the time, where I just throw in like a song like that was totally obviously copyrighted, and it would get taken down like in the next few minutes. I'm like, I gotta find a way to put some music in here and not get it copyrighted. Then I found the audio library. Well, the audio library came after I was having all these issues. It came like a few years after, so I had to like find copyright-free music. Oh no, I think I got 16 logins for 23 different sites for that shit, trying to download it. And how that computer is not contracted like syphilis of the hard drive, I'll never know. But it's still ticking.
That's the thing about a lot of music today. It's like the music industry has really cracked down on like copyright issues, and it would have been easier many years ago to do it, but it gets harder each and every year. So like, all videos on YouTube, they still have the copyright music on them, so it wasn't...
Facebook's cracking down on it.
Yeah.
I made videos on Facebook. I like to make a lot of funny videos for people on Facebook, just because it's just something I get to do, I guess. But I got copyright struck like on 4 different videos from like 5 years ago. They're like, hey, this is muted now in 270 countries. I'm like, really? If you look at my copyright page, like where they made copyright strikes on my videos, it's like literally 100 pages long. Yeah. It's like... Well, I guess they've loosened up on it a little bit. You can get I think you can get from a 5-second snippet to almost 15 seconds before they hit you. But it's like, come on.
You have those YouTubers who are like, oh, I can't play this song because I'll get monetized.
Yeah, so they'll talk over it or like make up their own lyrics. And
Yeah.
Sometimes does turn out better though when they kind of do their own thing, make it their own, rather than just throw someone else's music in there.
So that makes you wonder too, like, you know, the platform of YouTube here, with the way that everything's been going on with that, with like the COPA laws and then the RISOPA PIPA and all the other FCC and FTC stuff that was going on, to where like I had to take down my gaming channel because it fell under video games. And like, well, that could potentially be written for kids. And I said, no, I cuss in it. It's rated not for kids. But when you have colorful footage, and this is coming from the Federal Trade Commission, they were like, they were going to fine me. And they're going to do like, and their fine is $42,000 a video. I had 117 videos on that channel.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, and goodbye. It's all privatized until I can figure out what I'm doing with it. But
I remember I had a video 2016, so a good few years ago, and I made it wasn't really the best topic for a video. It was me pretending to prank call 911, which is not a good thing that YouTube liked. YouTube hated that.
You didn't actually call.
No, it was my mom on the other end. So I did that. YouTube, it was on for like 2 years, and then they took it off and said, hey,
somebody got sensitive.
Yes, they were like, over 100 people have reported this in the last few weeks, and they're like, we got to take it off. And then I had like 3 million views on it, so I was really disappointed. I'm like, then I realized later, hey, it's probably a good thing they took it off. I don't want someone to copy that or anything. It was devastating, but that's fine in the end, I guess.
That's cancel culture, man, and that's we talk about cancel culture a lot on the show, and she's not a fickle bitch. Cancel culture comes for us all, it seems, at some point. So I'm only waiting for the one episode I make that somehow mysteriously offends someone. I don't know about you guys, but it was the way that I was raised, and me with Scott, who was my other co-host, and Dave, who is the current co-host, was we always talk about, like, we grew up with, if you don't like my content, don't watch it. Mm-hmm. If it offends you, I'm sorry. Most of it's usually a joke. You know, don't look at it. Don't click on it. Go away. There's a big ocean of internet out there for everyone, but people just seem to manage to find all the shit and want to just the Karens.
You'll see people on comment sections on YouTube like, I hated this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Don't do this ever again. Why are you watching it then? Why are you in the comment section of this video other than to start stuff?
When I would get hate on stuff like that from the old channel, I'd be like, you'd comment and just say, what was it? Alt left key to go back on the internet, on your internet browser. Yeah, press this button, it'll remove it. I don't know if they did or not, but
we had the saying for our first album when people got offended or said our music was shit. We were all like, the negativity only makes us hornier.
It's like, let the hate flow through you. Good. Your hate makes me strong. So looking here, so we've talked a little bit about, the backstory of you guys here, and Lo, you sent me a few lists of questions here, which is kind of awesome because I didn't have to actually take the time to print out my own questionnaire. I was like, hey, this is great. You've done most of the work for me. All I do is set up shit and make coffee. So let me see here. So EDM music being your electronic dance music of the people. Mm-hmm. See, you have here listed is you have a favorite EDM song.
Oh, definitely. So the best EDM song, it's a tie between two songs that I think are the best EDM songs ever. Children by Robert Miles, because you listen to that song and it's just honestly the most beautiful EDM 4 on the floor beat style song that's ever been made, and it's a good reason for that was being made, because I read up on the story. Back in the 90s, a whole bunch of people, it's more like Europop, but I think they call it dream trance. That's the technical genre term for it. But like back in the 90s, a whole bunch of people, after raves and such, they would drive off after getting pumped up from all the rage, from all the EDM music, from all the raves and such, and they would drive off and just crash. And this one guy, Robert Miles, made the song to calm people down after a rave. So it's kind of one of those songs, just like calm people down and really tranquil. And
so you like that chill music from the EDM to bring you down from the metal.
Yeah.
After a long day of slaying and guttural screams and
it's probably a
darkness.
It's probably a forefront for a lot of like lo-fi chill music today. And then the second song is Insomnia by Faithless, because that song it doesn't happen until the middle of the song. I guess that's the way they put it, but like it has the best synth riff ever made. Like that synth riff is just legendary. Like, it's so atmospheric. It's like uplifting. Like, imagine just like a mountain, like a mountainous cave that's full of light, and then you just hear that music, and it gives me goosebumps even.
So I mean, for you to paint a visual for what a song did to you, just in like the middle or the bridge of it, was like,
yeah,
that's epic right there. When a song moves you that way, like when it just hits right.
there are a couple songs out there that, like, there's not a lot of songs that make me cry, but the ones that do, they are really, really emotional feeling. Like, especially Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Like, every time I hear that
You
song,
came out of left field with Fleetwood Mac. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, hey, it's not just metal I listen to. I listen to pretty much almost anything. It's just, I listen to metal more.
I'm with you on that, and for whatever reason, though, I go through like waves of different music. Like right now, I just got on like a jazz kick for whatever reason. I just discovered John Coltrane.
Oh, I listened to his 12 Steps, is that what it's called?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just going with whatever Amazon's picking me.
He did this one jazz number in which he utilized the circle of fifths in his music.
So
to
it's
like,
it's all over the place. I was going to say, for like the type of music with the synth tones and trying to like really explore out there, definitely, if you haven't, check out any form of like true jazz fusion music, where it just sounds like everybody's riffing, but there's a very basic beat that you can almost detect to keep everybody in time. Find some people willing to do some fusion for you, and then wash that out and hit the overdrive on it. You know, you might get something out of that. I don't know.
That'd be pretty fun. Do you have any favorite EDM songs?
I mean, I don't listen to EDM probably as much as you do, or I don't really listen to.
So, what would
really
be like your chill coming down from the metal music?
Well, I've fallen asleep to like death metal before.
Me too.
But other than death metal and whatever else I listen to, I would say like alternative or post-hardcore, like AFI or bands like that. I mean, I listen to a lot of softer stuff, and I don't know, sometimes after like listening to all this metal, coming down to like softer music,
Feels
like
like
that.
you're like going back to basics.
Yeah.
Just, I'm just here to chill, man. I'm not really. You don't want to feel the raw emotion. You want to like veg out on it, just zen for a minute.
It's not as nice as all that the metal music is. It's nice sometimes to just listen to some softer stuff.
Yeah, sometimes like the ear-piercing sound metal will kind of get to you after a while. Sometimes you just have to like mellow out, I guess.
I have like a playlist because I have a playlist for when I go jogging, and it is like one of the weirdest. I had her listen to it, and it starts off, it's like Hall & Oates, and like, what? Okay. And then there's like some Bob Marley, but then it kicks, I have like The Who, that Mongolian metal band where they had Papa Roach on there, and then it'll just like flip back and forth, and it'll be like, oh, Chris Stapleton, and then I'm like, oh, and then we're going with Eminem's Kamikaze, just, because. So every song to me, like, because I'm like you guys, like I listen to a lot of different stuff. Yeah. It truly depends on what mood you're in. And also, I like people like us that enjoy all the music because it's broadened horizons. You're more open to a lot of the different things that music has to offer. Like everybody knows a lot of people that they're like fanboys of music. I just listen to country all day. Kind of drink my Bud Light and my pickup truck, and that's all there is to it. All right, man. Did you ever listen to Johnny Cash? He's the hardest musician out there. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there was this one guy we hired to play bass on.
I don't listen to hip hop. All right, that's the last one.
We hired this. We got this one guy to play bass on one of our songs, and straight off the bat, he was all like, "Oh yeah, all I listen to is early 2000s new metal. Really nothing else. That's all my gear is preset chores. I just have $3,000 worth of gear." And then I asked him, "Okay, can you play drums or bass for this song?" And he just like plays simple notes and just goes off on a tangent, just playing the simplest shit. Like he, I don't know.
Got $3,000 worth of gear, but his wheelhouse is the size of a phone booth,
and all he could play on drums was just a simple. Despite having like a really expensive Mapex drum kit.
That's like having a Bugatti Veyron and not knowing how to drive.
Or it's like an iPhone with a home button but earpods. I guess that's one way to describe it.
There was also that other guy that reached out to me from Craigslist, said, "Oh, I can play the drums for you." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." And then you described to him like kind of who we are and what we do, and he was like, "No thanks, I'm good." Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Well, I'll give it up to somebody like that. If it's not for them, they can at least admit it, and they're not going to like try to like drag you guys down a little bit by trying to get in there and just waste everybody's time. Didn't want to waste his time, and he didn't want to waste your time. I'm like, I got respect for people that'll do that.
You're looking at it that way. It seems a lot. He could have done worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, I always try. I'm a person that tries to find the silver lining in everything. When shit doesn't go your way, there's always some positive to find out of it or glean out of it.
Yeah.
Because for me, the world today is too damn depressed and worried about being pissed off and angry all the time that I'm gonna find some joy in it and like live my damn life.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about like people for the album, by the way. So this second album, we had like a few guests on it, most notably Sammy Classic Sonic fan. I'm not sure if you've ever seen his videos, but like he's this famous YouTuber. When he was younger, he did a whole bunch of rants about Sonic, and he's become internet famous. And we got him to guest star on our opening song, and he just did a rant on our album.
Man, I gotta find out where you guys are making these connections, because I've done everything but like drop pamphlets out of the sky.
My one friend knew him personally from somewhere. I think it was school.
Oh, okay.
And he introduced me to him, and he was this kid. It was like 2015 or 2016. He made this rant about the Sonic fan base, how he didn't like the newer games. He wanted them to stay like classic.
Oh god, I think I've seen
he's
that.
Like, you freaking fricks! When will you learn? But
Sonic!
He's 23 now, and he's
a really chill guy.
He is a chill guy, yeah. I mean, he's pretty cool.
He's really nice too.
Yeah, he's nice. He's really outgoing and nice to everyone he meets.
Aside from Sammy, like we've also we had two notable members, Joseph Biku Bradford.
So these are like collaborations you guys have done in the new album?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Joseph, I wanted him to help us write some songs, because I guess some of the songs were based on influenced by Death, the band, and he was a huge Death fan, and in the end he ended up making his own song, and that's what it is. He just did his own guitar work and vocals, and I did the drums and bass, and it's overall tribute to like thrash metal, I guess, because he's really big into thrash metal. So I gave him his moment on the album, and we're going to definitely work with him moving forward, hopefully, especially like with songs that are more progressive, I guess you could say. The other person, her name is Bailey Rose Rosensteel. She sung cleans on A Darker Demon and Nyakin Flush. We had another vocalist, her name was Eliza Sachs. She did cleans for First Run, but I recorded that song actually long before I formed Microgutteral Fluctuation, because I never released it on any major streaming platform except for YouTube. So I figured this would be a good place to release a song at.
Okay.
And she wasn't available to do the vocals, so I had a friend from high school. Bailey, she did the vocals, and she has her own unique, distinct voice, I'd say. I mean, it sounds like you would. She has her own unique cuteness to the voice, I'd probably say to it. Like, she can, if you knew her personally, she can do a really good kawaii voice. And
I was like, as soon as you said this cute, it's like, kawaii?
Yeah, definitely. And like, but she also brought her intimacy to A Darker Demon, and then she brought that kawaii-ness to Nyakin Flush, and I thought it was really nice. Like, I don't know why, like, when I was thinking like female vocals for a song, I was thinking of like Evanescence or
like Flyleaf or something.
And also Ginger. Like, if you want a really good reaction video, listen to Pisces, the live session by Ginger. It, like, the female vocalist on there is insane. You just have to watch the video to understand. And that's partly where I drew my inspiration for female vocals, but like, overall, I think female vocals have their own power to them.
It definitely feels, even like as of recently too, is like a lot of female vocalists for metal and everything have really kind of started to make their way to the forefront. There really wasn't a lot of them here up until just quite a few years ago, I think.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of things growing up, especially back in high school with people forming bands. You know, there's still a lot of sexism that goes on in music, and I think having women in music is really empowering, because it shows that they're not being classified as a dumb bitch. They're actually people who can do good music, and a lot of people just push them to
equality for all, even the middle.
It's not just a man's thing. People like to think that certain things are just for men or certain things are just for women, but
I mean, you take anybody that hasn't ever listened to like the kind of music you guys are making, you know, they hear that, they go, women can't do that. What's funny is Mrs. Dave, which is Dave's wife, on the show here, she does that. She always wanted to learn how to. What's the proper term for the guttural screaming in metal? There's like an actual term for it. It's not crooning because that's like Frank Sinatra. I don't know. There's that the metal scream that you guys can do that.
I've always just called it guttural vocals. That's just
Yeah,
what I
like
refer to
she
it.
actually can do that, and like she's this little tiny thing, and I never would have guessed that. I heard her do it. I was like, oh Jesus! Like she'll do that kind of shit at karaoke night. Like she's doing the scream.
It's really all just about the technique you use, and first of all, the technique you use and not hurting yourself, and actually making it sound good. You have to kind of like put all those things together and find your own way to do it.
Yeah,
because you can't just copy someone else's technique and expect it to work
and you
exactly
can't just
for
scream
you.
because then you just blow.
Yeah, I tried that once, and it just.
I will say this though: if you do want to like get your vocals warmed up for guttural vocals, what I've always found useful with either hot sauce or really greasy food like Wisconsin cheese.
Like hot sauce will do it. Yeah,
It like coats your vocal cords and preserves.
It's like waxy and just allows you to spew out.
so hot sauce sounds like it's just going to already make your vocal cords angry enough to be like, I know, yeah, the metal will make this.
Gutturals themselves, they can be done wrong and done for a long time. I imagine that's pretty much any singer, especially me. Like I did vocals for a musical back in high school, and at the end, my vocal cords were just hurting a lot. So
Yeah.
doing this, like, especially if you're new to doing guttural vocals, it can definitely hurt your throat if you do it for a long time. So here's the most common misconception about doing guttural vocals is that anyone can do them and it's so easy. That is definitely wrong because doing guttural vocals takes practice and it takes like throat.
People will say it's just screaming. Oh, that's just screaming, or that's just it's so easy.
No, that's that. I equate that a lot of the that guttural stuff is a lot from what I remember when I was in the military. Was those my drill instructors, the training instructors? It's all that diaphragm work when they're calling out command. That like it's pushed, but these guys are doing it with that. Like.
See, when I first started doing guttural vocals, I sounded like an old man. I was all like, I did my time, and I went out.
I remember when it was all orange groves.
But it was actually the first album. Like I was planning on doing all low guttural vocals, and then out of nowhere, like I decided, hey, I'll just go and just do high guttural vocals just for fun because I was a big fan of this one band, and they have probably the most disturbing name ever. They're called Infant Annihilator. They make some of the most crazy fast music ever. And so whenever we did Anal Brain Rhythm, which is supposed to be just like a pulsating song, like I decided just to try high pitched death guttural vocals, and I just came out with "Don't get me to human to compare." And it turned out really well.
I just heard Gollum in my head. I'm sorry. It's like, the process, yes. Like that's all. It's awesome.
Yeah.
At least it didn't go Jar Jar Binks, so we're good on that.
Oh.
All right, so it looks like we are getting on here to be about the hour, so we're gonna wrap this episode up here a little bit with that new thing that we've been doing here in season 5, and that's giving our fellow guests here their farewell moment. And as I've actually discussed with them here offline before, they're already understanding is this is the moment that they can take to tell that one story, that one joke, that one shout out, that one plug, anything that it is that they want to make sure that it is written in the indelible ink of the internet and kept forever until the end of time. So, Lostrano, take it away.
There will always be a positive moment that you can look up to when you're doing music. There will always be people out there who tell you you're wrong, you're doing the wrong thing with music. There will always be people who say you suck, your music sucks, go on a different course in life. Ignore those people. Do what music makes you feel happy, and ignore the haters that want you to hate your own music, make you feel bad about yourself because they care about nothing else other than themselves. Always remember that you don't necessarily have to be like your own favorite artist, and you can do whatever you feel like doing in music. If it's something you think is crazy, roll with it. Don't say that it doesn't sound like what you want to, and just go for it and see how well it turns out. You may just make the next big thing and people will love it. Everyone loves having music that's unique. We're gonna be making more music soon, playing and making more, probably more heavier stuff. have more projects moving forward. If you want to check out Microgutteral Fluctuation, we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we are on all major streaming platforms. We are on Bandcamp if you want to give us a donation.
So I really liked how you were talking about that there, because it was a lot of things that me and a lot of people on this show have been preaching for a lot of the content creators and other people that come onto the show with a passion is, if it's your passion, pursue it. If it makes you passionate, if you love it, keep doing it. Who gives a shit when anybody else thinks? It makes you happy, do it, because you'll surprise even yourself.
Yeah.
So what do you got, Ozzy? Give me that sage advice, man. Tell me how to make it big in YouTube.
I'd have to agree with Listrano there. People always want you to conform to one certain thing, whether it be what they like or whether it be what they think others will like. You got to just do your own thing. You got to let your own creativity shine and let your own self shine in terms of whether it be music, whether it be videos, whether you're writing a book, whatever it may be. You got to let your own self shine through and not be what other people want you to be. But for my own thing, for my shout out or plug, I have to say, check out Ozzy Films on YouTube. You won't be disappointed, or maybe you will, I don't know. But
I think I've subscribed. If not, I'll definitely give you one. I'll even hit the bell.
Awesome. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I have to say. I can't think of anything else.
Microgutteral Fluctuation.
Oh yeah, Microgutteral Fluctuation. Go check us out. We're on all major streaming platforms. We're gonna hopefully create more content in the future. But
Hell yeah. Well, it was definitely a pleasure having you guys here on the show. Of all the stuff you sent me here, Lo, we killed that hour. Like, I was like, man, we are, like, because, hey, you went on your tangents, and that was the beauty of the show. Like, you guys got passionate about it, and I'm damn glad to have you on here. I hope to see you guys moving on up in the world here in terms of your music and whatever it is that you pursue. But that is all the time we have here for this episode, guys. Don't forget all the other different ways that it is you can listen. You can get us pretty much anywhere that it is. You can get a podcast. And like I said, as always, we're always on the Alexa app. So download This Evening Tonight Alexa app. Say, hey, Alexa, play This Evening Tonight, and she might work, she might not. I tried it the other day, and it ended up playing something completely different. I apparently have to work on the coding better. But also don't forget that This Evening Tonight is a official Duke Cannon affiliate. So click on the link below there, buy yourself a little something there, spruce yourself up, make yourself smell good. And go on the Facey Space channel there. We'll give you out a weekly 10% off coupon, good for up to 10 uses here for your order at dukecannon.com. But all right, guys, until next time, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And until we see you here next time on the show, we hope to find you a little bit happier, healthier, and just a little bit less bitter in life. So keep the middle strong and keep on keeping on. Peace out.